Hi, my name is Gianni Johnson. I did story number 22. The plot the elements I used are true love, mermaid, a magical character is displeased, and the ending sentence is let's throw a feast to celebrate, they said, and what a feast it was. Okay, my story is called Three Mermaids, and it goes, far, far away and deep under the sea there lived an old man who had three beautiful daughters. They lived on the outskirts of a big town. The three daughters were the most beautiful mermaids in the sea. Their names were Coral, Sandy, and Tide. Coral was the oldest of the three, and she was also the most kind. She spent her days singing and conversing with the dolphins. Sandy was the middle child, and she was the most clever. She spent her time doing clever things and thinking of ideas. Tide was the youngest of the three, and she copied her sisters in all things. The three young mermaids loved each other very much, and they often swam together and talked and played. One day news spread that the sons of the king of the sea were coming to visit their town. All of the young mermaids were excited because they knew that the young princes were looking for wives. They polished their tails and fixed up their hair. They had new tops made with the prettiest shells. The handsome young sons traveled long and far, visiting many towns. They were weary from their journey and wanted to rest. They saw a quaint house on the outskirts of town and decided to take their rest there. The old man hosted them gladly and showed them many kindnesses. As they rested, they saw three beautiful mermaids playing with the dolphins outside of the window. They were racing around and laughing. The young princes heard the most beautiful voices and saw the most beautiful figures they had ever seen. It was true love at first sight. They went out to the young mermaids and joined in their games, and each son fell in love with one of the sisters. The next day they went into town with the young sisters in their chariot and announced that they had found their wives. The town applauded loudly and congratulated the sisters and the young princes. Two young mermaids did not applaud or congratulate, though. They had planned to marry the princes, and they were jealous of the beauty and talents of the sisters. They plotted to get rid of the two oldest sisters that night so that they could marry two of the young sons. And as everyone in the town slept, the two evil sisters kidnapped Coral and Sandy. They put them into nets and swam to the surface of the sea. There they threw them into a large boat full of sailors. The next day the young sons searched high and low, but they couldn't find their beautiful mermaids. The youngest sister, Tide, wept and wept for her missing sisters, and the young princes were distraught. High up above and miles out, the two sisters were now awake in the boat full of greedy sailors. The sailors planned to keep the beautiful creatures and to sell them when they got back to land. The men tied the mermaids up tighter so they couldn't escape back into the sea. You see, mermaids are very rare and beautiful, so men sell them and buy them for lots of money. The sisters wept and cried out as the boat sailed away. Coral sang a song about their troubles as she wept. A dolphin nearby poked his head out of the water and heard the young mermaids. He quickly swam down to the bottom of the sea and told Tide, the youngest sister, what he had seen and heard. She swam as fast as she could to tell the princes. They were furious, and the oldest prince blew a large shell that sounded like a horn. Suddenly a large school of fish swarmed around them, and the dolphins joined in too. All of the fish, dolphins, and sons swam as fast as they could to the boat. Once they found the ship, the young sons poked their head out of the water and commanded the sailors let their loves go. The sailors laughed and yelled to each other to get more nets. Now, even more furious, the princes each blew a shell horn, and more sea creatures swarmed around them. They started to rock the large ship and to cause rough waves. They swarmed and swam faster and formed a large whirlpool. The ship circled and swayed and started to get sucked into the sea. The boat broke apart, and all of the sailors were thrown into the swarming sea. The mermaid sisters were now free, and the young sons hugged the beautiful mermaids and promised to punish whoever had taken them. Coral, the kindest sister, asked that the young princes be merciful, and so they were. The dolphins and fish brought the greedy sailors to the beach so that they wouldn't drown, and the two evil mermaids were spared. The young princes took the young mermaid sisters back to their palace. The king and queen of the land smiled at the beautiful young brides. "Let's throw a feast to celebrate," they said. And what a feast it was!